TimetoShrink. Welcome back to another meal prep. Today is going to be a special one because it's going to be a fall themed all things soups. I've been getting a lot of requests to make some soups, and y'all, I have a lot of really good soups in my cookbook. So the cookbook will be on sale down below. I'm actually going to give you a fall discount. So if you go down there, you will end up with a little fall discount because there are a lot of really great fall recipes in our cookbook. Okay, so that said, let me take you back, show you what we've got and what we're gonna make. All right, y'all, so a couple of the soups are from my cookbook and one is from a recipe book. So let me show you what we're doing. This is one of my favorite cookbooks. I've had this for years. They have some really great stuff. I'll link it down below. I'm pretty sure it's still available on Amazon. But Trim Healthy Mama Cookbook, if y'all have been around with me for very long, y'all know I use a lot of Trim Healthy Mama products. One of their soups that I love is Zuppa Toscana. They make a very interesting version of Trim Zuppa Toscana. I'm not going to show you the recipe, but I will walk you through it because when it's someone else's recipe, I always want to give credit. So that's going to be in this book. And then from my cookbook, we're going to make this Southwest Fiesta soup. It's kind of like my version of a taco soup. And then we are going to make this hearty beef and chorizo chili. This is probably one of my favorite recipes in the cookbook, and we're going to make that. One more recipe that's not in either cookbook, but is my own recipe, and it is a lemon chicken that was really tasty, so I think y'all will enjoy that as well. So let's get started. All right, y'all, so we're gonna get the Zuppa Toscana soup started because I've only ever made it on the stovetop. You probably can convert it to the crock pot or the Instant Pot, but I'm already gonna be using 2 of my Instant Pots and I only have 2. So we're gonna go here. What we're gonna do is cook up our sausage. And you need 2 pounds. This makes quite a bit of soup, but it is something, soup is something that's always great to go ahead and make a lot of because it freezes really well. You can freeze it in large portions, you can freeze it in individual portions, whatever you would like to do. So I'm just gonna start getting this sausage done up, and then I am taking a little bit of a shortcut today, and I love these seasoning blends by Great Value. Onion, celery, red pepper, green pepper, and parsley. These are amazing for soups. Even soups that just call for onion and don't call for all these other things, it almost always will work. So we're going to use this. It calls for 1 large onion, and we are just going to use probably a bag of this. Okay, so this is starting to brown on one side. This recipe actually says to brown the onions with it, so I'm just going to dump these in. I think 1 bag of this is probably going to be somewhat equal to 1 large onion. Okay, so this is done. I'm going to pull this off. So we are going to go in with an entire quart of chicken broth. I'm using a bone broth. I'm out of homemade bone broth, but this is bone broth. So we're going to throw that in there. Okay, we're going to go in with 2 cups of water. And then we are going to go in with 1/2 cup of heavy cream. There we go. Okay, next thing going in is okra. And y'all, trust me, you're not even going to know the okra's in there. It's not going to stay whole, but it's used as a thickening agent, and it is like super healthy for our GI system, for our gut. So I'm also putting in some rice cauliflower. 2 bags of rice cauliflower going in. We're going to turn this up to high, y'all, and bring it to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it until our veggies are nice and soft. So while this is working back here, we're going to go ahead and start getting our other stuff started. So let me just break up these big chunks. Okay, and now we're just going to flip around and get started on everything else. I've got the meat and everything set to the side until we're ready to finish this soup off. All right, I'm going to use my new little Kitchen Mama can opener. You literally just set it on the side and you push the button. Watch her go. How cool is that? I just think it's the coolest thing ever. Hazel does not. She does not think it's the coolest thing ever at all. I know, baby. I know. Look. It just comes right off. Like, how cool is that? It's so easy. All right, back to cooking. Okay, so in this Instant Pot, we are making our hearty beef and chorizo chili. So this is half chorizo and half just regular ground beef in here. We have Instant Pot number 2 going, and I am just browning up a bunch of ground beef. And this is going to be for our Southwest soup. half of this ground beef I'm going to hang on to for the soup. The other half I'm going to take out and make like just taco beef for the kids and I and whoever to eat on during the week. I've got my ground beef almost simmered up, and over here this has just come to a boil, so we're putting it down to a simmer, and we're just going to let this simmer back here until everything gets nice and soft. This is the chorizo and ground beef. It's always hard to tell when it's completely done because of all of the red color in the chorizo. But my tip, y'all, is to drain the extra fat off of this. Otherwise, you're going to have a really greasy chili. So I'm going to drain this in a minute. Then we'll put it back here and build. And then over here, because I have so much going on, we're not quite done. But I'm also going to drain this, because you don't just want it swimming in grease. You know, your soup will be kind of gross if it's swimming in grease, but you can leave some of the fat. Just depends on how lean your meat is. Okay, so into this, we are going to add 3 cans of tomato sauce. This is what I like to use. It's El Pato jalapeno tomato sauce. You can just use any kind of marinara sauce or tomato sauce, whatever you want, whatever you have. But I find these at Walmart, and I find it gives it an extra special something. So we're adding that. We're adding in some green chilies. And then I'm using this same trick, this seasoning blend. I'm just gonna add about half a bag in here because this did call for onions. Okay, so we've got that in there. We're gonna go in with about 8 ounces of beef broth, preferably bone broth, but there's 8 ounces of broth. And now we're gonna go in with our seasonings, y'all. Okay, going in with a tablespoon of chili powder. Then we are gonna go in with a tablespoon of Smoky Southwest. This, if you don't have, you could just do more chili powder. But this Fresh Jack Smoky Southwest, again, it's one of my favorite seasonings. I use it often. Now we're gonna go in with a tablespoon of oregano, which I'm out of, so we're skipping. And then we're gonna go in with just a teaspoon of cumin. Just that little bit of extra cumin I feel like makes a difference. And then we are going to add a tablespoon of canned chipotle peppers. You can use whatever brand you like. I like this one because you never end up using a whole jar, and I love that this one has a screw top, so you can just put it back in the fridge. If not, and you buy a canned one, you can always freeze it in tablespoon portions. But we're gonna add a tablespoon of the canned chipotle peppers. And the other nice thing about this version is they're already diced. Often in the cans, they're not diced, and you would have to dice it up. So that is it, y'all. Let me look at my ingredients again to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep, that's it. It is that simple. We are now just gonna put the top on this. Close it up, and we are going to do it literally only for about 8 minutes, y'all. All we're doing is finishing off the cooking. This is such an easy, fast meal. You can always double, triple, whatever freezes so well. Okay, so this one's going. I wanted to take a break real quick and just thank y'all for being here and say welcome to any new members that I have. I absolutely love to do meal preps. We do one pretty much every single week. We also do what I eat in a days. We do grocery hauls. We do all kinds of fun stuff. We also have a new fun series called Time to Drink every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we make some kind of cocktail. I actually ended up coming out with a cocktail book here recently, and that is available down below, as well as a recipe book that I've had for a while. But it is full of soups and lots of fall things, so y'all may want to check that out. But thank you so much for being here. I would love it if you're enjoying this to give me a thumbs up. That lets me know to make more of these, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm somehow. I have no idea, y'all. I just know this is the kind of stuff I really like to put out. But I'm also always super curious what you would like to see from me. So is there something you'd like me to make? Is there something you'd like a meal prep you'd like me to focus on? Would you like to see more what's for dinner type videos versus meal preps? Just, you know, give me some ideas, y'all. The girl needs some ideas. I want to do things that I love, but you will also enjoy. So let me know. Okay, give me that thumbs up. Did y'all know if you click on that thumbs up or thumbs down, it literally changed colors? Check it out. All right, let's jump back into cooking. So what I'm doing now is I'm using a slotted spoon, and I'm taking out all of the okra, most of the cauliflower, into a blender, okay? So this is the trick. We're gonna come over here. So we're gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna add about a cup or so of the soup broth, and we are gonna blend this up until it's creamy. This is what will thicken our soup. You won't even know that the okra's in there. and it thickens it, and it's super, super good for us. So we're just gonna get it really, really smooth. So I'm gonna return all of this goodness right back into our soup, and we are going to finish this soup off. So back in goes all of our lovely sausage and peppers. We're kind of going to get this stirred around a little bit, and we are going to add, at this point, you can either add spinach or you can add kale. I'm doing spinach because I'm just not a huge kale fan. It says about 6 cups, so that's really everything I have in this. So we're going to let that kind of wilt down, and while it's wilting down, we're going to add, obviously, salt and pepper, but on top of salt and pepper, I put in some crushed red pepper flakes, some garlic, and some onion. Now you could do just like a roasted garlic and not use the granule, but this is what I used. And then here's all the bacon that I put into the soup, y'all. Probably 4 to 6 pieces worth of bacon, already cooked, already chopped up. And this soup is so delicious. Like, I cannot even tell you. It is worth buying the book for this soup, but that book has so many keto-friendly recipes and family-friendly recipes. I can't even begin to tell you. All right, we're just going to let this simmer away on low while we finish everything else, y'all, but it's pretty much done. So this is our Southwest Fiesta soup, y'all, and what we're going to do here is I'm doubling it, so there's 2 pounds of ground beef, and then I've just got that same onion mixture happening right here. Now we're going to go in with a can of Rotel, and since I'm doubling it, 2 cans of Rotel. If you can find fire roasted Rotel, it is my very favorite, but I can't always find it. Going in with some fire roasted tomatoes. Again, if you can't find fire roasted, you can just use regular, but I just really like the flavor that the fire roasted adds to it. Now we're going to go in with some chili peppers. That's just a mild green chili pepper. You could do jalapenos. You could do whatever you like there. And now we're just going to start loading up on our seasonings. And in this one, I am going to go in with 1 scoop of this chipotle as well, just because I have it out. I don't think that's actually in my recipe, but I'm feeling it today. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to go in with a tablespoon. Again, this Smoky Southwest is my favorite stuff. We need 2 tablespoons because we're doubling, right? Okay. And then we're going to go in with some ranch. How much ranch? 2 tablespoons of ranch. There we go. And then we're going in with a full 2 quarts of chicken bone broth. You could use beef bone broth, but chicken is, I think I have some beef left. We'll do a little combo. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the last thing that we're adding here is our cream cheese. So the next ingredient that goes in here is half a block of cheese, but remember we're doubling. So I kind of just go in and break that up a little bit. Then we're gonna put the top on and let it cook for 8 minutes, just like the other soup. And when we're done with it, at that stage, I do add some shredded cheese, but I don't put that in for this period. All right. Top on. All right, y'all, so this is going pretty fast. Like, it's literally been less than half an hour, and we have 1 soup almost finished. This soup, I'm starting. I'm gonna hit the soup button or the manual button, either one, and I'm taking it down to 8 minutes. Then, come over here. This soup is completely done. How good does that look, y'all? All right, y'all, the chorizo chili is finished. So we're just gonna open this. I get that all stirred up there. It's in some nice broth. This stuff is so good. I'm gonna let this cool off for a minute and then I'll taste it for you. And then I already showed y'all that the Zuppa Toscana was done, so I wanted to give it a minute to cool and then I'm gonna taste it. I probably haven't made this in like 2 years. That's really good, y'all. It's so good. And that okra, you can't taste it at all, but it thickens it up for you so you don't have to use any thickeners. And it is, like I said, it is super good for gut health, y'all. That is really good. I want to try this, y'all, but it is so hot. Okay, here we go. See if I can do it without killing myself. Yep. This is probably my favorite soup, y'all, like that I've ever made. It's definitely on the spicy side. There's so many spicy ingredients, and it gives me the worst heartburn. I'm just being honest, but it's still like my favorite soup ever. It's so good, so, so good. I just know y'all will love this one. Okay, and then we're almost done with the next soup. So as soon as it's done, I'm going to go ahead and load this up, and then I'll show you the next soup. Let me show you, though, how I load these, how I freeze them. Okay, so there's a few ways that you can freeze soup. You can freeze it in ice cube trays, like literal ice cube trays or blocks, which is really, really great. Or if you want to freeze it in like a portion that you're going to take it out and eat over it for the whole week, you can freeze it in ball jars like this. That's one way that we do it. And then sometimes I freeze it in these reusable plastic. But if I'm using this, I don't like to fill it until there is no heat left at all. I really do prefer glass because of that. I don't like to store things in plastic if they're going to be hot. So like if I put this in here, I would put it in cold, but then I wouldn't reheat it in this either. So you have to keep changing containers. So that's not the best. So my favorite is to use ball jars. You can even use this. You could even freeze it in this size if you just want individual soup portions. But usually when we pull one out, this is enough soup for like 3 lunches or something like that for me. So I just like this size. And then I think this is the coolest invention ever. This is totally going to go in my favorite kitchen gadgets video that I'm thinking up. But it's a funnel, but for largemouth jars. So you put it there, but it gives you all this surface area to not spill when you're transferring your soup. And one of the other reasons I like glass is I can go ahead and transfer it super hot right now. And then I can freeze it in this. I can thaw it in this. Like, glass is great. But if you're freezing in glass, make sure you leave a good amount at the top. Ball jars actually show you how far you can fill them, but I don't even go as far as it says. So I just move that one and then go to the next one, and it's just so much easier to fill without all the mess. Hey y'all, the next thing we're gonna do now that we've got these rolling and our other soup finished is throw our lemon chicken soup together. It comes together like really, really quickly, and it is just such a good fall soup. Like if you're sick, you just are craving a chicken soup, right? And this is a low carb chicken soup. All of these are low carb soups. And I just really, really like the addition of the lemon to it. It gives it a different twist, but it's so good. So let me show you how to make that. So with this chicken that I have left, I'm gonna make like a lemon chicken soup. So I have just a little bit of frozen onions and green peppers in the bottom of this pan, and I'm gonna let these kind of saute up just a little bit with a little bit of olive oil. And then here's my 2 choices. I could use rice cauliflower, or I could use this low carb rice pasta orzo, which was my original plan, but I'm trying to kind of count total carbs and not subtract fiber as much right now. So I think I'm gonna go with the cauliflower. I am going to use this organic bone broth from Costco because I don't have any of my own right now. I'm going to use salt, pepper, I'm going to use some Greek seasoning, and I'm going to use a good amount of lemon zest and lemon. And then we'll throw in this chicken last because it's fully cooked and I don't want it to get tough or anything. So this should be just a really quick little soup that we can have for lunches or whatever. It just sounded good to me. So up to this point, I added the bag of the cauliflower rice, and I zested 2 entire lemons, and I'm just letting this kind of saute down just a little bit. I also added some salt and some pepper and some Greek seasoning, and now I am going to just dump in all of this chicken, and then we're gonna figure out how much bone broth we want to put over here. But I think this is going to be a really nice and tasty little soup. Okay, so here goes our bone broth. This is 0 carbs. It has 9 grams of protein per serving. And we're just going to kind of dump this in until we've got this mostly covered, and then see where we want to go from there. I think I may just end up using this entire thing, y'all. Yeah, we're just going to use all of it. So this was 40 calories for 1 cup, 4 servings. So we used all 4 cups. So that's 9 grams of protein per serving plus the chicken. And then we have our healthy carbs and our healthy fats in here from the cauliflower and the olive oil. And the lemon is going to give it such a nice flavor, y'all. I'm just going to kind of bring this up to a simmer. I'm going to put a bay leaf in. I'm going to simmer it for just a little bit. If I had celery, I would totally add some celery, but I don't. And then right at the end, I'm going to add some fresh lemon juice from my lemons that I had zested. And I think this is going to be so good. Soup has started to simmer, and I realized I forgot garlic. I have some roasted garlic, so I'm going to add that in, and I'll stir that around. And then also, I have half of a can of light coconut milk. And I feel like that's going to taste good with lemon too. So I'm just using it to use it up. Y'all, here's our Southwest soup, or some people call it like a taco soup. This is a soup you can make whether you like spice or not. This does not have to be spicy at all. It's super easy to convert it to not be. So the next big step to this is cheese. Normally I add 2 cups. And I consider 1 cup like a big handful like this. So there's 2, and we're doubling, so 3, 4. Okay, and then we're just gonna kind of let this stir. Sometimes you'll see little pieces of cream cheese, but that's gonna go away, but I don't even see that today. I think it dissipated really well. One thing I do wanna say, y'all, about using your Instapot, if you're making meat of some sort in your Instapot that is not like a soup, I would let it fully naturally release before you open it. Otherwise it can make your meat tough. But when it's encased in this much liquid like a soup, as soon as your time's done, you can let it quick release and then take the top off. So this is just needs to let this cheese melt a little bit, and then it's done. That is so good. This is one of the ones that people comment to me and say, this was my favorite soup in your book. This one, and there's an Italian sausage soup that I hear lots about. But really, there's a lot of great stuff in there. Okay, so this one's really, they're all really good. The taco soup makes about 6 of these. We're gonna eat it for dinner, so I have a bunch still left in here. Remember, I doubled. And then the chorizo soup made 3 of this size. And then the Zuppa Toscana, I had requests for that for dinner as well, even though I had planned taco soup. So I'm putting some in this container to put in the fridge for people to eat on this week. And then these 2 will freeze. So I'll just, as soon as they're not super hot, I put the tops on and I label them. I put them in the fridge until they're pretty, like, just cold, and then I put them in the freezer. But always label things, because once this is frozen, you won't know what it is. Is it chili? Is it chorizo chili? Is it beef stew? Is it marinara? Like, what the heck is it, right? So make sure you label everything, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'd gotten some requests for fall soups, and I'm definitely feeling like fall. I've even got my, it's fall, y'all, apron on. My mom gave me this apron, and I love it so much. Thanks, Mama. I don't know where she found it, but it is so me. And so this channel, right? So happy fall, y'all. I'll see you again really soon. Bye.